We'll call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
President Dom,
Here.
Vice President Everard,
Here.
Treasurer Zimmerman, absent. Secretary Wazorek,
Here.
Trustee Leahy,
Yes.
Trustee Zurich,
Here.
Trustee Zeller.
Here.
Okay, great, thank you. Conservation ethic, Nora, would you take on?
Yes, conservation ethics goal number 6, to foster a conservation ethic among Henry County citizens, helping all of us, regardless of the basis of our interest in nature, to develop a greater awareness of our role in and responsibility for the total community of life. A conservation ethic asks us to assume a moral duty to become educated about conservation issues and then act on that information. A conservation ethic is an attitude that recognizes the importance of preserving the natural heritage of these open space. Goal number 2, to acquire and maintain other wildland, scenic areas, and open spaces for conservation purposes and for educational and recreational use.
Great, thank you. 5.0, Mike, would you read that for us?
We pledge to make a difference by standing up for water, wildlife, and way of life in McHenry County. Our quality of life in McHenry County depends on healthy and sustainable natural resources, thoughtfully developed cities and towns, a strong economy, and beautiful outdoor places to explore, discover, and recreate. Number 9, we will provide outdoor places to reflect, play, and interact with family, friends, and communities.
Great, thank you. Move on to 6.0, land acknowledgement statement. Bonnie, would you?
You know what, I was looking on this, there's
Here.
folders. A land acknowledgement statement.
6.0.
To many indigenous groups and tribal nations, including the Ho-Chunk, Lakota, Dakota, Mascouten, Miami, Peoria, Potawatomi, Sauk, and the I don't know how to pronounce that one. McHenry County is part of their traditional homeland. We invite you to join us in offering respect to the indigenous peoples living here today and their ancestors' stewardship of the land. Together, we celebrate these special places, seek to learn and honor the history of those who came before us, and strive to forge meaningful relationships with indigenous communities to deepen our collective connection to the land.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for saying.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Second. Moved and seconded.
Trustee Leahy,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
Trustee Zurich,
Yes.
Trustee Zeller.
Yes.
Secretary Wazorek,
Yes.
and President Dom.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. So we'll move on to 8.0. I have a special recognition for celebrating the retirement of Perry Weaver, Operations Manager. We have a resolution number 25-16, a resolution celebrating and recognizing the retirement of Operations Manager Perry Weaver for the dedicated service and commitment to the residents of McHenry County Conservation District. So we're going to read that resolution. Start down. Whereas McHenry County Conservation District has protected over 25,800 acres of open space, 35 conservation areas, 45 miles of regional trails that provide access to more than 15 miles of an integrated trail network. Act to restore its lands to their ecological health, offers educational programs that encourage appreciation of the natural environment and a fundamental understanding of the environmental ethic. Develops its lands for safe, quiet enjoyment, interests of McHenry County residents. And whereas the district is supported in its efforts by many dedicated staff and volunteers who engage in a variety of activities, including protection of natural resources, the flora, fauna, and people who share them, and site and facility maintenance and improvement. Natural area restoration, trail clearing, and monitoring, wildlife monitoring and care, environmental, historical, and cultural interpretation, educate. And then educational outreach programs and many other endeavors. And whereas Perry Ward began his career in the district in 1991 as a ranger, was promoted to sites and fleet supervisor 2007. It was again promoted to sites and fleet manager in 2013. Before he was promoted to the operations manager in 2022. And whereas Perry Ward holds a Bachelor of Science degree in wildlife management with a minor in environmental law enforcement from the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. And whereas Perry Ward rose through the ranks from field employee to the leader of the department responsible for. I had shut off. Okay. Responsible. Understanding. Fleet manager making him strategically positioned to understand and improve those operations and cause positive changes for the department and the district. And whereas Perry Ward managed the largest department in the district, requiring significant fiscal oversight, personnel management, and administrative responsibility while he focused on keeping sites open, safe for visitors, and accommodating special requests to assist public programs and events. And
to relay. Whereas Perry Weaver created an approach to winter site access, which not only focused limited resources on sites with the most winter recreation opportunities, but also reduced salt use that negatively impacts natural areas and extends the lifespan of infrastructure, and was instrumental as a ranger in guiding the district to implement no-mow areas, thus reducing turf maintenance while increasing habitat and rainwater infiltration. And whereas Perry Weaver transitioned the district to a forward-thinking pack-in, pack-out approach to manage both recycling and trash, and transition from a paper-based maintenance management system to a digital software solution to streamline work orders, preventive maintenance, and daily, weekly log sheets. And whereas Perry created a plan to extend the useful life of the district's vehicles and site infrastructure to adjust to the circumstance of a reduction of resources and reduced administrative tasks by partnering with the county contracts, striping, crack filling, and vehicle procurement. And whereas Perry oversaw the improvement of the Felpro RRR disc golf course, which has become one of the district's most popular recreational amenities, instituted paid firewood for group campgrounds, increasing revenue, began in-house striping, crack filling, and asphalt patching to extend infrastructure longevity and save costs over contracting, and created a rotational maintenance program for limestone recapping of the district's gravel surface trails. And whereas Perry has decided to retire from his position effective April 3rd, 2025, let it be resolved that the officers, Board of Trustees of the McHenry County Conservation District hereby express and convey their deep and sincere gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to Perry for his continued dedication to the mission of the district, and that this resolution be incorporated into the official records of the district. In witness whereof, we have hereunto subscribed to our names and affixed the seal of the district on this day, 25th of March, 2025.
congratulations. Okay, that's a form of a motion. We need a second.
Second.
Second. Okay, so moved and seconded.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
Trustee Zeller.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Trustee Leahy.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get a photo.
Right. Here, why don't you hold this? All right, I'll hold that. Sure.
Put you back to work.
All right, smile. Thank you, guys.
Go ahead, Jerry. Oh, we need to go have a beer on that one, I think.
For several.
Yeah.
Second motion.
Okay, trustees report. Anybody has any reporting on any committees, subcommittees? Anything to report, Bonnie?
No, we went to the McCog meeting, Lloyd, myself,
Okay.
and Elizabeth was there. And it was about using regional resources as best as possible from, the municipalities be involved in that. But Elizabeth, you probably understand it better than I did as far as.
Well, Economic Development Corporation, so Mark Picos, who is the newer executive for that, was talking about the impact and the work and the municipalities and shared services. And just great opportunities. Woodstock, Mayor Turner also kind of highlighted the efforts of what they have been focused on and seeing the fruits of their labor too. So it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was ethereal. I think it's the name of the chocolate place in Woodstock. And they have a,
At their building or at the courthouse?
no, it was in their building.
Their building.
And then upstairs, they have a loft, and the meeting and dinner was up in the loft. The Squire on the Square provided the meal, and they did a nice job. And if you haven't been to Squire on the Square yet, the new one, it's nice. I went there for lunch, it was packed.
Yeah.
And then downstairs, they have the chocolatiering place, and they have a speakeasy, I guess, down, it was closed, so we didn't get to see
Oh.
that. We got 3 businesses in that building.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was nice. I attended the green drinks, via web, because it was just a nasty snowy day, and, a pretty interesting program. It was very scientific. They had the scientist who was talking about, water, all the things they do to test the water and
For drinking?
for drinking, and then they talked a lot about the forever chemicals, and what they're
Oh.
testing for are specifically those forever chemicals, and it's much higher than any of us would like it, and it's everywhere. They're even finding it in Antarctica. So it was interesting, but it was very scientific.
Yeah.
Can I ask if they were using the test wells on the district sites?
Yeah.
They have results? from those?
Yeah, they do that and some additional ones. They've got some, I think, the university and some other wells, but they've used our wells, are using our wells in addition. But they had all the graphs to show that the stuff is increasing and concerns about it. And a lot of cookware and stuff, the manufacturers are moving away from all that stuff, Teflon and all that.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting program, well attended.
Good. Anybody else have anything to report? Mike, the skiing was good, so you up north. Oh, yeah, so you can report that.
That was good. Go to Colorado again skiing on Sunday.
Nice. Good.
I did the foundation report.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if that was the next one, if that's the board liaison report, or if that's your report.
No,
I'm
that's
not
not.
sure which is.
Yeah, I've got a couple things here. Valley High last week reopened. I understand it's a memory on one of the wings, it's a memory care. And something that they've been working hard to reopen for quite some time now. So they finally got a final inspection, so that's moving forward. And now we're into state of Illinois. We have road work coming towards McHenry County, 4 huge projects that were all approved. And if from 176 to Route 120 is going to be a widening of the road. And if you're in that area, you're already seeing trees being knocked down. And the other big one that's starting right now is 176 and 47. Between Huntley and Woodstock. And then they're going to continue that through the city of Woodstock. So it's things to see for the next couple of years. So we've got our challenges, just trying to get around Henry County. It's main thorough. So that's all I got.
Good, thanks, Paul.
The foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a 3-hour meeting, I think, this for when I'm not forever, but some really good things came out of it. So the foundation approved $100,000 expenditure to help support our comprehensive plan. That was very nice. 30,000 for 27 acres and $2,250 for the artist program. So 3 really nice expenditures coming our way to help us with those endeavors. Also, I think Elizabeth mentioned it last time, we're trying to set up 2 meetings with the district and the foundation. We can have a joint meeting. So finalize those. We're looking at June 12th right now. More to come on that. But be nice. But the foundation has really done a lot for us. Of course, with the referendum, they did a tremendous amount. And now, these 3 generous donations. So
Yeah,
good meeting.
great. President's report, basically, the only thing we've been working on is with Val and Nora pipeline situation. We'll talk about that later in the meeting. Sure. Public comments, number 1. Anybody?
I'm not seeing any raised hands online.
Okay, anybody in the audience? You can talk.
Any public comments?
Yes,
Please
you
come
are.
up.
Will you stand up and state your name and
Public comments in general, or
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
you want me to come to the library?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
My name is Joe Farnan. I'm a member of the hunting program,
Oh, yeah.
and I wrote a letter to Elizabeth and to Gabe.
Yep.
And they were kind enough to forward it to the board. I wanted to be here today to see if the board had a chance to review it and to see if you had any questions for me.
To be honest with you, we have not had a chance to review it. I've been really busy. I don't know if they.
I saw the letter. We haven't had a chance to discuss it.
Yeah.
So, it was a well-written letter and
Very, very good letter. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about it or anything. So we'll probably take that up at our next COW meeting, which will be next month.
Okay, would it be appropriate for me to summarize it at this time?
Yes, you have 3 minutes to summarize it.
Okay, first I'd like to thank the district, number 1, for setting up the hunting program 20+ years ago. People like that board at that time and Mr. Kramer took a huge risk and it was very risky, and turned it into a tremendous success. What it is today, it's industry leading, and other people are finally seeing the benefits and changing the same way. Unfortunately, it's such a huge success that now there's user group conflicts. There's more interest than there is opportunities. My concern as a non-resident is that if you pass the latest restrictions, that non-resident opportunities will be so low that over time they'll be non-existent or so low that it really isn't significant. So I know the board has to decide, and Elizabeth and everyone, how big a role you want non-residents to play. In my letter, I tried to explain some of the examples of what we bring. So when you're considering resident complaints or concerns that, well, I can't get in the program now because of those darn non-residents, we've already made accommodations for them, which I understand, that's your job, and you've done a tremendous job. And Gabe is just the best. But where do you draw the line? And are you willing to have no non-residents get to experience the joy of McHenry County in the hunting program specifically like I have? And it's been such an important part of my life that I don't do it selfishly. I don't have a lot of years left. for hunting. But I want to make sure that people like me get an opportunity. If I was trying to get in the program today as a non-resident, especially if this rule is passed, it'd be next to impossible. There's only one scenario I can think of, is I have to find a resident group that would take me in. I don't know why they would, but to do that, you'd probably have to have a youth hunter in your group to get the preference points for that. You'd probably have to have shot does to get enough preference points for that. And if you did that, you would probably get in every year, whether you were resident or non-resident. But the chances of that happening are so low that yes, I'm in that situation, fortunately. I don't want to be a hypocrite. It is possible, but that's not going to be easy. And so people like me wouldn't get in, and they never get that opportunity. So it's something I just want you to consider. I want to thank the board. My hunting partner is Matthew Rakowski. He used to be board president. He's told me how difficult the job it is, all the preparation you do, all the hard work you do, all the hard decisions you make, like I'm asking you to make, and you're never going to make everyone happy. But you do a great job, and I wanted to acknowledge that. That's the main thing. You guys do a tremendous job with the district. And I just wanted you to consider this one point.
Well, thank you. We'll take that in consideration, and we appreciate some of the volunteering that you've done in the past too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Any other public comments? Okay. Go to the consent agenda then, so we'll need a motion to accept
I move to accept the consent agenda.
the second.
Second.
Mike, the move and second. Need a roll call on that?
Secretary Wazorek?
We need to go,
I'm sorry. Oh,
we need to roll through, you need to
Sorry.
read the consent agenda out loud by the.
Oh, that's right, first, yeah.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
You thought you were gonna go fast, huh? Sorry.
Come on, you didn't even jump in.
All right, here.
Please start at, yes.
Okay. 13.1, approval of previous meetings. 13.1A, January 16th, 2025, Committee of the Whole, Executive Session. 13.1B, February 20th, 2025, Committee of the Whole. 13.1C, February 25th, 2025, Regular Meeting. 13.2A, Acceptance of Treasurer's Report for February 28th, 2025, as presented. 13.3, resolution number 25-06, amended authorizing the executive director to execute the 3 month-to-month residence lease agreements as presented for the term April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. 13.4, resolution number 2517, authorizing travel expenditures for the 2025 NRPA Hill Day for Vice President Lloyd Everett, Art and Executive Director Elizabeth S. Hessler from March 31st to April 2nd, 2025 for a cost not to exceed $4,500. Resolution 13.5, resolution number 25-18, awarding a contract to Hartwick Mechanical of Harvard, Illinois, the lowest responsible and responsive bidder for the plumbing repairs of the Felpro RRR shelters for a cost not to exceed $43,360. Bid number 0125.07.02. 13.6, resolution number 2519, accepting the 2024 hunting program report and provide consensus for recommendations to develop the 2025 hunting directives and program initiatives as presented. 13.7, resolution number 25-20, authorizing the executive director to provide a letter for the Friends of Habitat National Wildlife Refugees grant application to the ComEd Green
Region Grant Program. 13.8, resolution number 25-21, authorizing staff to submit a 2025 local government snowmobile grant on behalf of and to provide the McHenry County Snowmobile Association with $30,000 to maintain snowmobile trails and upgrade trail signs throughout the county for 2 years, parentheses, fall 2025-fall 2027, close parentheses. 13.9, resolution 25-22, ratifying participation in the annual StarCom 21 radio interoperability grant reimbursement program. 13.10, resolution number 25-23, approving and authorizing the execution of the attached intergovernmental agreement regarding the Crystal Creek Region Restoration Project by and between the McHenry County Conservation District in the Lake in the Hills Sanitary. 13.11, resolution 25-24, a resolution approving the salary grade schedule for non-bargaining, full-time, part-time, short-time employees for fiscal year 2026 as presented. 13.12, ordinance number 25-1058, authorizing the permanent transfer of $501,000 from the general fund to the dedicated accounts fund. 13.13, ordinance number 25-1059, authorizing the transfer of funds between budget line items in the general fund from GL accounts 01-04-494, comma, 01-06-494, comma, 01-08-494, comma, and 01-14-494-14 to the GL account 01-14-493 of the fiscal year 2025 budget for a total amount of $18,500. 13.14, authorization to prepare specifications in letting of the bids, the Prairie View Education Center exterior stairs improvement, Crystal Lake, Illinois.
All right, we had a first and a second. You ready?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Got some discussion.
Any discussion?
So, just a question on 13.9, StarCom, is that the radio, the road remote control planes?
No,
What is the, I don't remember.
John,
Yeah, during,
radio system.
when 9/11 happened back in 2021, the fire departments and the police and the emergency response people could not speak to one another, could not talk over the radio to one another. And they realized that was a problem nationwide. So they created, the federal government stepped in and created this concept called StarCom, basically so that those entities can chat with one another, and then they rolled it out all over the nation, okay? So at some point in time, we paid into that a long, long time ago, okay? And they built the program, they built the system, and it's basically got excess money. So what they're doing is they're kicking, every year they do an analysis of it, almost like the old co-ops from back in the day. They do an analysis of it, and then they kick back to the agencies that are participating in it a rebate. We classify it as a grant, but that's really what it's about. At some point in time, we expect it will dry up and they'll no longer rebate that. Their costs and their revenues will be the same, but right now, the revenues are exceeding the cost a little bit, and they're bringing it, that's what that rebate is about.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, or anything on that agenda? Okay, we'll do the roll call, please.
Secretary Wazorek,
Yes.
trustee Zeller,
Yes.
trustee Leahy,
Yes.
vice president Everard,
Yes.
trustee Zurich,
Yes.
president Dom.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, move on to other board business, treasurer's internal audit. Treasurer, government is not here, so he wanted to pull a couple of things. Be the R8262 from ROI. So it's the chief of police's office furniture. If you need anything, purchase 310 of 25 for $6,950. Second item is C002126 ComEd. And it's February 25th. That'll be the March 5th of 25 for the Winding Creek area, I guess, for $233.22. You just doing more on that? That's what gets pulled for.
And we'll pull that, and if anybody had anything else, but otherwise we'll pull those.
Anybody have anything else for treasurer? Okay, do we have a consideration to approve payment of bills as indicated? A submission of bills pending report for the month ending February 28th, 2025.
So
It's been moved. Second, do I have a second?
Second.
Aye. The moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Trustee Zurich,
Yes.
Secretary Wazorek,
Yes.
Trustee Zeller,
Yes.
Trustee Leahy,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
yes,
President Dom.
Yes. Motion carries. Payment of bills. All right, we'll go to executive director's report. Elizabeth, you have anything?
Yeah, just want to thank, so we have our board liaison, Thomas here this evening. This month we were in front of the county, and thank you very much for accepting our budget and the presentations throughout that. So again, for those that took the time to be there, great job to our staff and board and putting that document together, and Andy and his leadership of putting that final piece there. But that has been passed, so we start our fiscal year on April 1st with the good budget. So that's a good thing. The other item, this past Friday, we had the opportunity to have Congressman Brad Schneider out with the district, President Dom, Trustee Zeller, myself, John Peters, Fernando Hernandez, Kevin Schweiler, Kate Martinez Porter. We were all there to highlight the site. We went out, was able to showcase a variety of things. One, the project for Silver Creek that received selection by Congressman for funding to the amount of $300,000 for fiscal year 2025. Unfortunately, because of the continuing resolution at the federal level, 2025 doesn't exist. And so in essence, there is no funding appropriation. So that project, but it is a project of interest. So we will continue to remain hopeful, and that hopefully somewhere along the line that funding becomes available. Same as we had another project with Congresswoman Chakowski. So when we're in Washington next week, we'll be having those conversations as well. And then we also then were able to showcase the work that we did with the Farm Bureau on the bioreactor and the Eagle's Nest that's out there. So again, it was great, and they would entertain a visit anytime soon for the other side, right? Anything else to add?
No, pretty much. It was a good way to get to know him a little bit better, and he understands what we're trying to do. And John did a great job of our tour up front. So that well.
Absolutely. So appreciate that. And then I did send, and I'll just follow up again as a plug. IAPD has a boot camp. And so this is a program that they do, the Illinois Association of Park Districts does every year for commissioners and trustees, just to go over some basic things as board members. And so I will send that out. There are some dates to highlight that are coming up. If you're interested, they do have one option that's a Zoom option if you don't want to drive, but they are in the Chicagoland area. So if that's of interest, I'm happy to get you the information on that. But it will be attended, and it's just a great board development opportunity. So
Okay. Do you have a list of people you're gonna see out when you're in Washington?
we do. We're getting the schedule, have not received it yet, but we'll be visiting. They're making appointments through the schedulers through NRPA with all of our McHenry County congressmen. We will be meeting with Durbin and Duckworth. And then, of course, all of our
Senators and Congress.
we had the training for a week or so ago, and it's like a 15-minute meeting. They give you time to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
And, you know, but we haven't got it yet, but when they do, they said that they're setting it all up ahead of time for us. And staffs know. And if the politician's not available, then we meet with their staff member and they summarize it. give it to the politician.
Good. Good. Okay, public comments number 2. Anybody?
I'm not seeing any raised hands online.
Okay, thank you. Barring none, I guess, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Move. Is there a second? Second. Moving seconded. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lee.
Yeah.
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Trustee Zeller.
Yes.
Secretary Wazorek.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Night, everyone.